equip, and we equip it. And if I unequip, we unequip it. So that's nice. Hey there, I'm your host Lesawi, and this is part 23 of our inventory series. In today's video, we'll be finishing off the equip button, and with that said, let's begin. Let's start by going to the content drawer, our inventory system folder, UI, and our equipment tool widget. In here then, I have named my buttons, so button unequip, drop, inspect, and in the graph, we'll go ahead and create a new function called get action buttons. In here, we want to grab them in order. So we have unequip, drop, and inspect. Right click to do a make array, add 2 extra pins, connect everything, select everything, press Q. And if you want to align this, right click, go to alignment and then left. From here, we'll do a for each loop. And the idea is we'll bind to that on action clicked event, bind event to on action clicked. There we go. And in here then we need a function. So we'll create a function called on action clicked. And we want an input in here, which will be a index. And this is type integer. Go back and do a create event, and then we can add in our on action clicked. And we need that variable, otherwise it won't show up. And let's compile and save. Next, let's go to on action clicked, and in here we want to create a new macro. So click plus, we'll call it get action index, and we need an input called index, which is integer. And we just want to make it equal. So we have 0. Connect those. What we have 0, 2, and 4. Make sure these are matching those indexes at the start. So we're skipping that between buttons. So goes 0, 2, and 4. Next, we'll go ahead and grab a branch, just to check if that's true. Also, the execution pin, I'd like to go on top. So go in here, drag it on top. And we'll have 2 more branches. So it's there and goes there. True, true, and true. And let's see what we can do. On equip, we have drop, and we got inspect, and that's looking cool. So compile that. So with that done, next we'll go into our content drawer and go a folder back. We want to go to our inventory component, and in here I just want to create a function called add to inventory. In here I want to create a new parameter called item ID, type name. So what we'll do is we'll get the item ID, again, just referring to the same guy here. And we'll do find matching. We don't have that. Find matching slot. And we'll do a branch. Going into a branch on false. And the condition is any slots available. So if we do find a matching slot on true, what we'll do is we'll just add it to the slot. So we have our add to slot function. The index is the index here. So we can reroute that. And the item quantity is going to be 1. And on then we just want to update the inventory. And on false, we'll check, do we have available space to add? And if we do, we'll do add to new slot. On true, like so. Item quantity is the same here. The index is our available index. Item quantity, again, just, oops, I want to make that 1. On false, we'll do a return node. And we are returning if this was successful or not. So Boolean success. And in this case, this is false. And here it is true. We also want to update the inventory. Otherwise, we won't see the update if we add the new slot. Okay, compile and save. Next, let's head back into our equipment tool again. And let's create a new function called onDrop action. In here, I want to first get my component inventory and do drop from inventory. We have the item ID and the item quantity will be 1. So item ID goes here, quantity set to 1. Do we have our equipment slot? We do. We can get that, do a onEquip item, plug it in, and we'll just remove from parent. And let's compile and save. Next, let's go ahead and create yet another function called check inventories. We want to get the owning player pawn and do get component by class. And we want both the inventory and the hotbar. So inventory component and our hotbar component. And we'll do is valid, just to check for both. And we can do a and boolean, which will go into a branch up here, then, and on false, I'll just do a print string saying, well, one inventory or both not valid. Something like that. And true, I want to get this and promote it to a local underscore inventory. And the same with this guy, local underscore hotbar. I'm just set both of these. Grab our local hotbar then, either from here or just get it, and do add to inventory, and that's the function we made. Item ID is gonna have to come from item ID, then branch, and on true, we clear, do we have that function? Clear equipment slot, we don't. But on false, we can do add to inventory, to, oh, local inventory. That's what I want to do. Add to inventory. On false, and the item ID is our item ID. We'll do branch and do a print string just to test, saying no space on false. Then we just want to return our thing if it was successful or not. So this is going to be a boolean. Now I want a function between I return this node in here. So let's create it. Go on top. We'll call it clear equipment slot. So since we have it, let's go to our check inventories. Just add it in before I forget. On true, we go here and we return. Oh, that's my bad. You want to return false here and then true. Okay, compile and save. So let's go to our clear equipment slot, and in here we want to get our inventory component and just do add to new slot. And the idea is our item ID is going to be none, quantity is none, and the index is our equipment slot get index. Like so. And let's compile and save. Next, we'll go ahead and create another function called onEquip. In here, we'll do check inventories. We'll grab a branch. And on true, again, we'll grab our equipment slot. Do onEquip item. We'll then do remove from parent. And then if we grab our inventory, get our item sound effect, get the item ID. We can then, of course, break this open, or no, break it open and play the item sound effect. Let's reroute this and we'll do this on use. So that. Okay, and one more thing I want to do is on false. I just want to go around. So do a reroute node, reroute again, and go into remove. So everything but onEquip item. And compile and save. Next function is going to be called onInspect. And here we are spawn actor from class. The class is our inspect actor. Right click, split value. On Z we'll do 1 million, so 1 and 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We just want to always spawn, ignore any collisions. Inventory is our inventory from our variables there, and the index is the same. And then we'll just do a begin inspect and compile and save. Next, we'll go ahead and open up on action clicked. And in here, we want to get the action index. Get action index macro here. And we'll do onEquip. There we go. And onInspect. And do we have on drop action? We do. And let's compile and save. So with all that done, we also want to update the container for the equip to work. So for that, let's go to our UI, our container display. And in the event graph, I want to update it displaying container. So in here, let's do a set container display widget here. And the widget is going to be a self reference. And let's compile and save that. Next, let's go ahead and open up the ItemTool widget. So we have that here. And I want to see the update, or no, equip item function. Right. So before we go into here, what we'll do is I want to do a select at the very start. And we'll take this inventory here and do container display. And from here, we want to do is valid. If it's valid, we'll do wardrobe UI. And from here, we can do equipment slots. And that's if that's true. If it's false, we'll just continue doing what we did there. And let's compile and save. So one more thing about this function is that there is a glitch, a duplication glitch. So at the very end, when we come off true, drag this out to give yourself some space, and on true, or just before we go there, I want to Control Z that, double click, press Q to align again, and we'll do get item ID. And I want to check if this item ID is equal to the item ID we have in here. And if that's the case, if it's true, we'll continue with that. And if it's false, we'll do a print string, just saying you already have this equipped. And there we go. Compile and save. So one more thing to do before we go and test this. Let's go ahead and open up the equipment slot. Go to the event graph, and we want to go to the onDrop function. And if you don't see it, go to drag and drop and click on drop here. So we want to update this, and after the cast, scroll down to your event dispatchers and do onSlot selected, do a call. Now the equipment category in here is going to be the equipment category we got. Plug it in. This will go there, and I'll just clean this up a little bit, move this back. So that's that. And before we go into this branch here, or rather after, so what will I do? Let's move this back here. I want to grab a branch that's going to go into true, and the condition is going to be that this item ID here is equal to, so we'll just bring it down, this item ID. That's the condition. And if this is not Boolean, so we come out of true, that's not the case, I will go continuing this, and if it's false, we'll go and do that. And on false here, actually, this will go here. This doesn't go there. And if it's false in this category, what we can say is you already have this equipped, exclamation point. And I believe that's that. So let's compile and save. So after testing this, there's a few things to fix. Let's go into our inventory system UI and our equipment tool. So on the event graph, once we leave this, we'll do a mouse leave. Event on mouse leave, we'll just remove from parent. And at the start in here, what we want to do is get our action buttons and plug it in. So one thing I missed is that in the inventory component in our add to inventory function, we want to return success on the update inventory here. Let's compile and save. So another thing I missed is that on the ItemTool widget in the equip item function, in here, we want to actually reverse this. So let's break this pin, break that. The player display is at the bottom and the container display is at the top. So this goes in here. Let's get the wardrobe UI and then equipment slots. This can go like so. And then in here, I can't plug it in. I can't, so we need to do wardrobe UI and do get equipment slots again and go into true. And this should fix any issues. And let's also make sure that the player display is valid. Compile and save. And one more thing is that at the very back in here, we want to make sure that it is not equal. So my bad again. And let's compile and save that. And with that, we should be able to go and test this. So let's pick up our bow, equip, and we equip it. And if I unequip, we unequip it. So that's nice. What if I equip my jacket? Jacket works. And let's go here to unequip, working nice. What if I drag it in? Cool. What if we have a second bow that we want to equip? Pick this up, pick that up. Let's do equip. Cool. And equip. You already have this equipped. So this is going to be it for the video. In the next episode, we'll start the saving system for our inventory. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like. And as always, happy developing.